We are back under my poor raccoon smacked Corvette. Since the wreck actually happened, I have went in and cut out the old radiator support because it was all bent back, destroyed. Went in and put a nut plate up on top in the frame where it had ripped that thread insert out, and then realized that I had already done the same thing on the other side before because it had been curbed and had ripped that side out, so I'd already put a nut plate in there. I just had forgot about it. So what I also did yesterday was I started working on the glass work. There was a crack along there and one up top, and then one right there that wasn't very long, so I drilled the end of all of those to where they won't crack any further. Fasten them together on the outside, and then I've got like 3 layers of glass on the inside, and that is really good. I'll probably put some more glass on it, but that's going to fix that up just fine. All I'll need to do is sand and little body work on the outside, and you'll never know that happened. Now, the missing chunks here. What I have decided to do is redesign this. Yeah, we got a chunk missing there and a chunk missing there. And then in the back here, there was a small plastic piece that filled in there. It was just a filler piece. I've also got a little bit of fiberglass work to do there on the inner fender where it broke it, where the brake duct went through. Brake duct ended up being fine. Just straightened it back out. But here's what it looks like factory. Let's get the light here. Instead of me pointing at everything with the light, messing everything up, this is how this shaped from the factory. And then there's that small plastic piece that fills in here. What I'm gonna do, and then I'm gonna do this on this side, and then I'm going to transfer it to the other side so they're the same. But I am going to cut this along a line, something similar to this. That way I have a lip here and then a big open area here. And what I'll do is build one filler piece to go from the inner fender well up to this lip. And I'll just screw it together around the perimeter. And by doing that on this side, there'll be a cut here, cut around here, cut here. There'll only be some smaller sections that I have to fill in, and I will just, I'm going to take some aluminum and put it on the inside and come out to the edge of where that lip's going to be. That'll give me something to fill up against, then just glass it from the bottom. And once that's done, that'll be super strong. And then I'll build a filler plate for this side, either out of glass or aluminum. Same deal, fasten it up to there. And that actually makes things easier when you go to work on it. Because if you take that one filler plate out that I'm going to build, you can get right up into the turn signal area, where over here, you've got the, you still have to take out the brake duct, but you've got to kind of work around this panel on the bottom. One thing I haven't decided what to do with is these openings here. My stainless steel mesh was destroyed, and those really don't do anything. It's all the plastic piece that goes up to the radiator fills in this. Your brake duct comes from the duct on the bottom here. So it's basically just shooting air into a fairly enclosed area. And on the regular coupes, that is just filled in with a light. So I'm probably going to fill those in eventually, put my own, some kind of light in there. There's really no reason to leave them open, and there's no reason to put the screen back on because all they did was catch bugs and look like crap. So we'll fill in, but that's a little further down the line. Right now, I just need to get the structure back together. Got a little divot out there. That's one thing I'm going to do tonight. I'll put a piece of aluminum, probably epoxy it right along the back. Then I'll fill in the missing chunk with resin and glass, and that will be good as new because that's where the shield that goes up to the radiator is. So right now I need to get cutting and see what kind of shape I'm going to end up with. Ever being kind of a screwed up mess, this is actually going pretty good. This is the passenger side that wasn't hit. I went ahead and trimmed out how I wanted it, and what this will do is there'll be a panel goes in here, lays up on this, fasten it to this, and an angle in the back to fasten it to the inner fender well. It'll all be easily removable, and so we're duplicating this on the damaged side. So what I have done is, don't cringe too bad, I had some extra really thin aircraft plywood, and I'm using that as the substrate there to reform that missing part. Built a template out of a poster board to know how this needed to be shaped. So that is taking the spot of the broken piece. As soon as that dries, which I'm using epoxy on it, so it'll go pretty fast, I'll take another piece of the plywood, put it in here, glue it on the top, and I've ground down the edges a little bit on the bottom, so once that's cured, I'll be able to just glass top, bottom, all around, and that will be super good, super strong. Perfect to make another filler panel for this side to fit in just like I'll have on the driver's side. So I mean, it sucks that this happened, but I'm kind of enjoying fixing the car up like this. Change the look on the front of it maybe a little bit. So it's going to come out good. Oh, I like fiberglass work. Oh, and the little piece there that was broke out, I found it laying on the floor. So I just epoxied it right back into. I'll probably put a little glass on it just to make sure it doesn't break back out, but I did find it. So the old Corvette's gonna ride again. One thing you may be cringing. I mean, don't cringe about the plywood, because remember, the floorboards have got balsa wood in them. But this car is a driver. I drive the crap out of it. It was a little beat up from one of the previous owners, but here's the bottom of the bumper cover. And it has been that way since I got it. I scuff sanded it a little bit, shot some black paint on it, but it's just, like I said, this side had already taken a hit. But that right there, the scratching, everything, you don't see it. It doesn't bother me in the slightest. So this under here, it's not going to make any difference. And actually, it's probably going to look pretty good when I get it done. So not a big issue. Got a nice new radiator support out of the deal, so that's a plus. There's the second piece glued in. I'm going to let all this cure overnight, and tomorrow I can start glassing all this in, make it look like one piece. It's going to turn out nice. As always, thanks for watching Redneck Corvette Repair.